Aider e Rida Ali têm 17 anos. Nasceram nos Estados Unidos, têm nacionalidade iraquiana, mas sempre viveram no Ocidente. Why have you agreed to do this interview?
This is not a justification for what happened, because violence can never be justified. However, this is a clarification of the full story, because I feel that's the least I owe to the Portuguese people and to the family of Ruben.
So what happened that night?
Our night started in Kopus, which is a local bar and restaurant. I sat in a table with my colleagues from GR. We were having a good time, just some laughs and things, and I was wearing a short-sleeved shirt. It was actually this exact shirt, but in another color. Unfortunately, that one was ripped in the incident. Two of my tattoos were visible, and one of my Muslim colleagues made a comment about it. And jokingly, I removed my right pant of my leg to show him the one on my thigh. I think the people on the table behind us took great offense to me removing one of my leg pants, and they started acting very aggressive. They approached me. Ruben was on the table with 5 of his male friends, all in teenage years. They approached me, and in Portuguese they were telling me some obscenities and things like this. One of the boys grabbed my hand, both of my hands, and one of my colleagues from GR intervened and stepped in between us in order to calm the situation down.
Os 2 filhos do embaixador do Iraque vivem há 1 ano em Portugal. Aider estava em Ponte Sor há 2 semanas para completar a parte prática do curso de piloto.
So we decided, in order to avoid any problems with the people sitting at the table, that it would be best to simply leave. So I made the decision to take my brother and leave Kopus. So on our way out, I made my way to the car. I entered, and unfortunately my brother didn't have time to enter the car, and the group of boys, including Ruben, circled around my brother.
Rida, estudante de gestão, estava em Ponte Sor de visita. Os pais dos gêmeos tinham viajado para os Estados Unidos.
I was by the window. They were approaching as a group by the window. One of them especially wanted to attack him, and I was trying to calm him down, putting my hands so that he would not come and possibly attack my brother. But as I put my hands up to prevent him from coming any closer, the next thing I know was that I was being attacked by 5 or 6 people, and it is as if I was being passed around like a ball. I could not do much because we were outnumbered. I was trying to fight back, but there were simply too many people. And right after that, the group of people simply ran away, and we had left the scene. But then we came back around 2 minutes later to see if they were still there. But all we found was GNR and a bunch of people outside explaining to the police what had happened. So then we also gave our side of the story. Obviously my brother at the time, his face was all bruised up. It was a lot worse. I have a fractured nose and my foot is also fractured because of that. And we explained to the police everything. And after that they took us home, dropped us off and told us to file a report in the morning.
Os irmãos alegam que regressaram ao local para recuperar objetos caídos durante a primeira discussão. Foi nessa altura que se cruzaram novamente com Ruben Cavaco.
And at that point, he saw us and he started saying something in Portuguese which I did not understand. It was very apparent that he was speaking in a very aggressive tone and as if he was trying to start another fight. I leave the car to approach him and see what he wanted to say. I was asking him, what's your problem? Why are you being like this? He proceeded to say something else in Portuguese which I did not understand. And at that point, he hit me again in my face and in my shoulder and then proceeded to run. And after that, I felt extremely insulted because of the beatings that happened earlier as well, and I could not take it anymore. So I ran after him and I proceeded to beat him, I proceeded to punch him, and the next thing I know is that my brother also came and he was helping us. And a minute later he was down on the ground and I had kicked him a few times when he was on the ground. And then my brother told me to stop because apparently he was on the ground and there was nothing more that we should do.
Rida e Aider garantem que Ruben Cavaco não foi atropelado.
The next morning I had went to the hospital. I took an X-ray, and after that the next thing I know is that GNR, the police, came to the hospital, came to me because I was there, but he had left to the apartment. I was in the hospital. They took me to the police station, and when they had taken me to the police station, I met my brother there, and we waited around 4.5, possibly 5 hours for inspectors to come from Lisbon.
But do you think that anything justifies the degree of violence of what happened that night? Because he's in a very, very bad shape now,
absolutely
fighting
not.
for his life.
Absolutely not, because people have to understand that when you're in a situation like this, it's a dangerous recipe when you have teenagers, when you have alcohol, when you have this group mentality. Things get out of control, and I wouldn't say that I am a victim of Ruben or Ruben is a victim of me, but I would say that we collectively are a victim of a circumstance which is very easy to happen in Portugal. I have been contacted by my school and by other people, and they let me know that these group of teenagers have caused previous problems in Ponte Sor and harassing and assaulting several students from my academy. So that's just, I don't know personally if Ruben is a bad person or not. I wouldn't say so, but I would say that he is greatly influenced by the friends that he was with.
Os gêmeos têm passaporte diplomático. Dizem que colaboraram com a investigação.
People believe that we are simply immune to the law. And me and my brother, we were subjected to hours and hours of interrogation at the police station. We voluntarily allowed them to come to our apartment and collect clothes and collect whatever they needed to collect in order for the investigation to go as smoothly as possible.
In a sense, you are above the law because of your immunity. Would you be willing to respond to the Portuguese justice?
Absolutely, and honestly, the thing is, nothing is happening to these 6 people, so you could argue, are they above the law?
Were you under the influence of alcohol as well?
To be honest, my brother was. I blew. I had a test by the GNR, and the legal limit in Portugal here for driving, which by the way I didn't after they dropped me off, is 0.50. I blew 0.58, just because it's easy for minors to enter establishments. It's easy for them to obtain access to alcohol. The regulation on things like this is very loose, so this is obviously a recipe for disaster, especially when you have teenagers with hormones and very strong emotions. And I would say that me and my brother acted out of feeling insulted and humiliated and out of anger.
Did you lose control?
We completely lost it, and I would like to personally extend my apology. And at this point, we have to have love in our heart. We can't have hatred. But I believe this is a huge lesson that everybody can learn from.
We've received many death threats. I've seen possibly thousands of people commenting and speaking about how they would like to kill us and how if they saw us in the street, they would like to beat us into the same state as Ruben was and get away with it because they don't know us and we don't know them. So that scares us, of course. We never intended to harm someone that bad. We are normal kids, both of age 17. We are just like anyone else in this country. We feel as if we are a part of the Portuguese society and community. We feel like we are like everyone else here. We do not think that we are simply above the law because we're diplomats. That's something we've never even thought about.
But the fact is that you are, until now, you cannot be persecuted. If it were the case for the Iraqi government to remove your immunity, what would you think about it?
I am ready to fully accept responsibility of my actions. I don't know what the Iraqi government opinion is. I am not hiding or under the umbrella of diplomatic immunity. If they do decide to remove my immunity, I am fully ready to face the consequences. Sorry.
O embaixador Saad Ali foi chamado de urgência a Bagdade, mas por enquanto ainda está em Lisboa. How did your family take all this?
My father is devastated. My mother is in a very bad condition. My father is a person who has served his country for 47 years. We do not represent our father. We do not represent the Iraqi government. We do not represent anyone else except for ourselves. Honestly, this is directly to Ruben and his family. My sincerest and deepest apologies from this incident. I hope that we all learn a lesson from this. We could have simply claimed diplomatic immunity, and we didn't have to answer any interrogation or any investigation or anything.
Are you planning to leave the country?
I've seen many news reports about that, which I don't know why. I believe that the media is taking advantage of this situation in order to inflame it and create more problems and scandals and to aggravate the people against me and my brother. Obviously, we are still here. We are waiting for this situation to blow off, to see the result. We would like to see the improvement of Ruben, and we personally, our family, and the Iraqi embassy, we're all praying for his improvement. And until this situation is resolved, we are not going anywhere.